Good morning everyone, Frank Valkyrie here in Amsterdam. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm gonna do a reaction to some old trailers because one of my favorite director passed away this morning, Bernardo Bertolucci, a great master of cinematography, filmmaking, and I just want to pay tribute to him reacting to three of my favorite movie from him. Of course, he's known for The Last Emperor, 1900, and The Last Tango in Paris, which I all love. You know, I love Last Tango in Paris. I think I watched almost every movie made, also the older one. But I just want to react to the trailers, to the movies, which somehow had a connection because, of course, they were made more or less in the time I was a teenager. I started to approach cinema and my love for cinema. So I'm just going to go chronologically with the three movies that they are my favorite and they are attached to me somehow. You know, like for the period that I started to venture into discovering about who is a great master of cinema and so on and so forth. So he's definitely one of the greatest. So let's start with this first movie, which is The Sheltering Sky. And wow, I mean, what can I say? John Malkovich, I love John Malkovich.
Tourist is someone who thinks about going home the moment they arrive.
I love the phrase.
The traveler might not come back at all.
From Jeremy Thomas, Academy Award-winning producer of The Last Emperor.
Kit and I will just follow your plan.
My only plan is I have no plan.
From Academy Award-winning director.
I always
Bernardo
I
Bertolucci,
get goosebumps
director
with
of The Last Emperor and
Unbelievable.
The Last Tango in Paris.
The only trouble is there are no mirrors here. So how do I live?
From the acclaimed novel by Paul Bowles comes the story of a husband and wife desperate to rekindle passion.
No matter what's wrong between us, there can never be anyone else.
Daring to cross the border into a world where jealousy has no place.
You and Port ever share the same room?
I think he's in love with you.
Where sensuality knows no limits.
Do you think Port suspects something?
This is the first time I understood that love and a relationship can take so many shapes and form.
Fantasy is brought to light.
And truly there is one of the best soundtrack ever. Like Ryuichi Sakamoto. Wow, the main theme of this movie is just so beautiful and epic that you gotta see it. You have to see it.
The Sheltering Sky.
A beautiful journey, I mean, I don't know how many times I watched this movie, and every time I go back to it because of the photography and the meaning, and try to find one in Blu-ray and just enjoy it with somebody you love. Those are the masters, those are the great movies, the ones that once you watch them, they really change your mind. There is a beautiful, beautiful phrase, like sort of monologue in the end. And I don't want to spoil it for you, but that hand sort of narrating voice says something that really changed at the time. I was, you know, the first time I saw The Sheltering Sky was not when it came out, but probably a few years later. So I must have been 18, 19 in 94, 95, something like that. And I remember listening to that last phrase and it really changed the perception of, you know, of the world around me. So that's the power poetry in film has. So I really recommend to watch this. If you've never watched it, just do it right now, or, you know, like as soon as you can, just watch Sheltering Sky. So this is really truly one of my favorite movie ever. And the soundtrack of Ryuichi Sakamoto, it's just spectacular. One of my favorite songs of the entire set of the original soundtrack is called On the Hill, and just check it on Spotify. It's just amazing. So wow, really emotional always. And let's continue to chronologically. And this movie came out in '96, and this one I almost watched as soon as it came out.
Lucy Harmon is on a journey.
And I have to thank Bertolucci because I say this with no shame. I think I've never had. I'm not the type of having
Enchantment.
celebrity crushes. I was like the same age of Liv Tyler. Probably I'm 1 year younger. And when I saw her in this movie, I just fell in love. I couldn't understand like that you can admire and sort of really
This magical place.
wish you could meet somebody like that. Anyway, but yes, that's the effect that I. This is a more like,
You're in need of a ravisher.
in many respects, this is really a celebration of youth. And I don't know many movies with Liv Tyler in, but definitely this is my favorite. And I was just spellbound by her beauty and
A mystery
sweetness and everything.
Where you were in August 1975.
that will unlock her past.
I met him in the summer when I was 15. He was the first person I really kissed.
She's searching for something.
And touch them all.
And Jeremy Irons is amazing in this movie. Truly, the relationship between her and the character of Jeremy Irons is just beautiful. And this lightness of being, of youthful joy, it made my heart ache already then when I was 18, 19. And I actually haven't seen this movie in a very long time. There are too many emotions attached to it of the period when I was 18.
You will never forget.
But I agree with the guy. Watch it. It's really a beautiful movie.
Jeremy Irons. Liv Tyler.
Ever been in love?
Lots of times.
Stealing Beauty. The new film from Academy Award-winning director Bernardo Bertolucci.
What a celebration of youth. Really, really, really beautiful movie. You should definitely check it. It's just a beautiful dance. In Italian, the title is different. In English, it's called Stealing Beauty. In Italian, they called it Io ballo da sola, which means I dance alone. So a little bit like a sort of to emphasize the joy that comes within, that you don't need anything else around you because the source of your joy comes within and you dance. You dance through life. Your life is a dance. So yeah, I just cannot emphasize enough that if you have never watched this movie, go watch it. It's actually quite emotional to react to those things because movies are so powerful, and I think I haven't seen Stealing Beauty since it came out, since I saw it in 96, 97. It's one of those movies that really you get attached to it also because you remember very clearly that period of your life. So it goes even deeper than just a memory. So this is the power of art and poetry. And the last one, it came out in 2003. And I have to say, I like this movie a lot, but it's my least favorite of the three. And what I like most about this movie, this is The Dreamers. And of course, this is a movie about student revolution around 68. You know, there was this huge thing about in Italy, everywhere in Europe, actually. The student revolution was really a big thing. And I love the vibe of Paris in this movie. I love, because I've always been in love with Paris. And like he mentions here, this is a sort of coming back because, of course, Last Tango in Paris was shot in Paris, and it's a beautiful movie. And this a little bit tries to recapture, even though in 2003, that kind of mood and vibe. But the reason why I love a lot this movie is because I think it introduced to the word evergreen, which I always make jokes that, you know, I should have asked Bernardo Bertolucci to find me a girlfriend, because I think the only two celebrity crush I've ever had in my life was Liv Tyler and then Eva Green. So that's it. I haven't had any celebrity crush since. So it's a beautiful story about friendship and love and discovery, with a sense of a little bit. It is more naive, but it explores the boundaries of sensuality and sexuality in the way that Bertolucci is good at representing and filming. So always pushing the boundaries of what is a relationship or how a relationship should be without taboos. And that's something I've always loved. Of course, that comes from Last Tango in Paris on through Sheltering Sky, through Stealing Beauty, and through The Dreamers. So there's a lot of passion and sensuality in those movies, and that's something I also love a lot because it explores human relationships in a much more freer way and deeper way than the sort of standard perceived romantic vision of love. So that alone, it's a reason to explore those movies and enjoy it, but then there is more depth, more story. So, you know, and I just wanted to react to those. Those are some of my 3 favorites. And of course, there is plenty of, you know, The Last Emperor probably was one of the first movie to be nominated with 9 Oscars, and it won all 9. So this is really an historical thing, and it's an extraordinary movie and achievement. So if you haven't seen that one, you should really do a favor to yourself and go watch it. So it's always sad when, you know, an artist comes to the end of the road and the journey. It's also sad for us because those are the people we look up to. Those are the people that they truly, in the arts, they give an incredible contribution which can never be delayed. It's something really extraordinary individually and for society. I cannot really emphasize how much value those artists have and impact they have in society. Even though perhaps their movies, they don't reach the $1 billion mark or they don't sell as well, but they are the true masterpieces that propel humanity forward, at least in the arts. So I salute you, Bernardo, maestro, ciao. Ci vediamo più in là. And yeah, always spread love. And I'll see you next time. You take care.